CSGO team Heroic have begun legal proceedings against their former coach Hunden after terminating his contract. Now, you might recognize his name from the CSGO coaching bug scandal, and it appears that once again Hunden may have found himself in seriously hot water. Heroic have a list of accusations against him, but perhaps the most shocking one of all is that he shared confidential strategies with Heroic's competitors in the lead up to IEM Cologne. Alright then, this isn't the first CSGO coaching scandal that we've covered on this channel, and I'm pretty sure it won't be the last, so make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel if you don't want to miss any future videos just like this one. Okay, so I'm going to start this story by reminding you guys about the coaching bug scandal from September 2020. It was massive, one of the biggest scandals to rock CSGO. Essentially, several coaches were using the spectator tool to reveal any part of a given map and then relaying that incredibly important information back to their teammates. We covered all of this at the time.
Now, the bombshell at the heart of ESL's investigation is the fact that they've proved coaches from Heroic, MIBR, and Hard Legion all used this exploit at multiple different ESL events leading up to ESL 1 Cologne.
Hunden was one of 3 coaches to be initially banned by the ESL, but by the end of the month there were a total of 37 coaches from around the world that have been banned or suspended for abusing the bug in professional games. Heroic suspended Hunden as part of an internal investigation, while ESL handed him an 8-month ban from their competitions for 2 instances of the bug use. Hunden then came clean about the whole thing and said that his team knew nothing about what he'd done. While other teams just straight up fired their coaches, Heroic kept Hunden, although it's safe to assume there was a lot of work needed to rebuild that trust. And if that trust had been repaired, well, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now, because recently a new scandal focused entirely around Hunden has crumbled any trust that the two parties had built back up. On July 29, 2021, Heroic posted a statement explaining why Hunden had recently been removed from the org. IEM Cologne 2021 took place in mid-July, and Heroic said they decided beforehand that Hunden would not be coaching the team for it due to, quote, severe trust issues. Although they didn't explain where these trust issues came from, they alleged that Hunden retaliated by blocking the team's access to their internal strategy folder. They said that an internal investigation had found that Hunden had shared confidential and sensitive information from that strategy folder with a major competitor prior to the tournament without their knowledge. They said this was a clear breach of contract and are now pursuing a legal process in Denmark where 2 courts have found sufficient grounds for evidence collection. And they also said that Hunden's contract has been terminated. And if the allegations are true, that is perhaps the least surprising part of all of this. The statement ended on a regretful tone, however, with Heroic saying they are saddened by Hunden's actions, the way that he let his teammates down, and that the relationship has ended this way. It's an understandable feeling. Heroic found themselves in the middle of the CSGO coaching bug scandal, perhaps one of the biggest CSGO scandals in recent memory because of Hunden's actions. They could have fired him right then and there, but they stuck with him. They gave him another chance, and if the allegations are true, he blew it. Big time. I mean, let's be real, he wasn't stealing pencils from the office or cutlery from the cafeteria. He was literally helping his competitors in a competition. Hunden was quick to address the allegations in a Twitter post titled, "Regarding Recent Rumours." He started off by thanking Heroic and the players he got to work with before saying that his leaving is a personal decision due to him coming to the realization that he wants to begin a new chapter of his life. He then addressed the allegations, saying, "Recent rumours claim that I have shared Heroic's strat book. This I can categorically deny. I have the biggest respect for Heroic and I would never want to harm the team or in any way affect them negatively. The material I have shared is anti-strat material of opponents. The material was shared with colleagues from other teams in the context of sparring. Knowledge is essential for me as a coach in respect to staying in the loop and developing. At no point in time has Heroic's own tactics been shared or discussed. In addition to this, I want to state that I will always cooperate with ESIC and other relevant institutions, as well as provide documentation about anything found necessary to the case." So, it sounds like a denial of Heroic's account of what happened. Hunden is saying he shared strategies for playing against certain teams with other teams. Now really, this just comes down to semantics. Is your team's strategy solely how you play, or is it also your knowledge of how other teams play? You could argue it's both. Particularly in a game like Counter-Strike, where teams are known for their strats, executes, and playstyle, so naturally it will be part of your strategy to counter theirs. Within a few hours of Hunden's statement, the Esports Integrity Commission, known as the ESIC, issued a statement on the matter for, quote, the public's interest and to avoid speculation. They said on Tuesday, 6th of July, ESIC received notification that Mr. Peterson, that's Hunden, had allegedly engaged in behavior which could be classified as a breach of ESIC's integrity program. The alleged behavior was related to upcoming matches at IEM Cologne. Upon receiving this notification, ESIC commenced an investigation, reviewing the evidence available at the time and pursuing other investigative lines of inquiry. They went on to say they had worked with ESL before IEM Cologne to see whether Hunden's actions had affected the integrity of the tournament. They said that although Hunden's actions had breached their integrity program, his behavior had not impacted IEM Cologne's competitive integrity. They ended their statement by saying they will wait for any new evidence that arises from the Danish legal proceedings. They will then reassess whether there has been any breaches to the integrity program and apply any appropriate sanctions thereafter. Perhaps the one thing that both parties can agree on here is that this knowledge sharing happened without the consent of the rest of Heroic's management and team. And this mirrors the coaching bug scandal. In both cases, Hunden alleges that his team didn't know what he was up to. Aside from all that, if what Hunden says is true, that he shared information with other teams, that could be a two-way street. In Heroic's statement, they make specific reference to the information being shared with a key individual, so perhaps they too have evidence to bear. This all implies that at least one member of another org was engaging in the same behavior. So will the ongoing investigation and legal proceedings uncover more of this? There's a lot of unanswered questions here. Heroic said in their statement that they have nothing more to add due to the delicate nature of the situation. And unless Hunden has anything more to add himself, then we'll need to do what the ESIC and ESL are already doing and just wait for the findings of the Danish courts. It could take months, but the full story will undoubtedly surface one day. The question is now, how widespread does this thing go? I want to say forks. I feel like that's funnier than like someone who just steals forks. Like, they're fucking good with spoons and knives at home, right? Absolutely golden. Forks, that's what they go to work for. Yeah. Okay.